The
Just look like
joy.
I've got a fucking tan.
You're looking fair well. In fairness, Mayo is fucking
It's
suiting you by.
sometimes I look well, and sometimes I look like absolute dog shit, depending on the day, like, and depending on the light.
I
The
said it
light's a
to
big thing.
herself. I was inside in a horror bathroom last night for the small little house that makes it sound like a fucking
Oh,
big place, but horror toilet. I was in last night. Whatever way, I was in there with the young fellow was having a bath. And whatever way I looked in the fucking mirror, I says, Jesus Christ, the fucking light in here is fair unforgiven. I looked about
yeah.
74 and smoking 74 fags a day. I don't even fucking smoke. I looked horrific. She goes, don't fucking talk to me, Tom. That's the next fucking job I have for you. She says, is change out that fucking light because that wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Beyonce would stand under that and go, I'm disgusting. I'm fucking
Oh
rotten.
yeah, you'd be seeing hairs growing out of spots you never seen grown before.
I'd fucking hairs in my forehead and every fucking like a fucking wolf looking back at myself.
And it takes you a while to come back from it. Then it takes a couple of days. You're like, fuck, I thought I was better looking than that now. To
I
be
was,
honest.
you know what? I was going around this morning going, Jesus, I was big fucking king shit of fucking Mickey Mountain on stage the other night. But I just have to rethink myself there now because there's low lighting inside the toilet there. With like that fucking hyper lighting. Fuck that shit.
No good. That
No,
should be banned. That should be illegal shit.
no fucking good at all. And Jesus. But anyway, fucking, I tell you, whatever Zoom is doing for you anyway, you look fucking mint.
Yeah, I think that's the camera on this thing because as I was saying to you, I was doing something else myself the other day in Dublin. This thing called Cage Warriors. Did you ever go to that?
I've been to it. I have been to it. I was at it at who was fighting in it? No. Yes, I was at it one time years ago, but I was sorry, I was thinking of a Bellator event. I can't remember who was fighting Cage
Yeah,
Warriors, but
it's similar to
yeah,
Bellator.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they could even be like related companies. But I was going up to Dublin and I was like, this is fucking looking well now. Nice bit of Mayo tanning on me. And then I was looking at the footage there today and I was like, geez, I look like absolute horseshit altogether. Just look fucking, I look like fucking 46 and a bad 46. I was like, how come no one told me? People have been pussyfooting around me. I looked rough and I started drinking loads of water. But I suppose it depends on the mirror as well. You have to get a good mirror.
Here it is. Do you know what? I remember saying to a fella before we were doing panto and he was going on about getting his teeth whitened. And his teeth were the finest evermore, right? They were fucking noble teeth. To
Yeah,
John Sharpson, he's a lovely fella. He works for RT and he says, I think I'll get the teeth. I said, John, your teeth are fucking lovely. Here's the thing. Are you doing all you're supposed to be doing to your teeth? Brushing them a few times a day. I says, that's it, so. There's no
yeah,
more to be done. A spade is a spade, John. Who you
yeah,
cotton
yeah,
like? You're going to end up with these teeth that look like a fucking skirting board inside your mouth. Go,
yeah.
just.
There's too much. And the thing is, they file down the teeth altogether and they stick something else on. Like that can't be good in the long run.
I don't
Like
think he
10
was going
years from
down
now.
that route. I think he was just getting
Okay,
a heavy power washing and a bit of bleaching. I think is what he was getting done. I don't think he
okay,
was that. Don't even get me started about them turkey teeth. Sure,
yeah.
where are they all going to be? They'll be full. A lot of people say you'll nightclubs in about 7 or 8 years' time. The sinks will be full of them fucking old things.
Or they still be in their mouths and the teeth will look great, but the rest of their head will be fucked.
But they don't even look like teeth, though. Do you know what I mean? Anymore. They
Yeah,
don't. It's the one stark thing looking at some fella's big swelled steroid head, like talking into the camera on fucking Instagram or
yeah,
whatever. And
yeah.
you're going, I
But you
can't
know,
see it, but you're.
people are because with social media now, you're looking at yourself all the time, or you're seeing yourself more than you used to. We'll say,
Yes,
and
yes,
everyone
yeah,
is seeing themselves from like as I was saying about the mirrors. They're like you might find a nice mirror and you're like, okay, I'll keep looking at that mirror because that mirror seems to like me. But with the camera, sometimes you're like, Jesus Christ, I have a fucking massive bald spot there, or something
yeah.
like that. Like so, when it's on Instagram, I don't know. I think there's a lot of good looking people in the world now as well. Like in the streets, you'd seen a lot of good looking people like knocking around, and I think it's because they're so aware of themselves.
Yes, yeah. I'd say there was the potential to be there's probably good breeding and better nutrition than there was, say, in the 70s and 80s and
Oh
90s
yeah,
even. But I'd say people have a better awareness of what to be doing with themselves. Do you know if you ever saw, like, I was only watching one yesterday evening. I was this fella interviewing people now, and they were like the Liberties or whatever. There's a couple of young ones. And they were saying, I have a fella, and I have a fella. And sure, the way they were kind of carrying themselves, you're going, the fucking heck
Like,
you, like. But you know,
yeah, yeah,
if there were girls nowadays, like, just should be fucking camera ready. You know what I mean? Like these
yeah,
young ones were bagging nerves. They were no good at all on camera, but they were adorable in their innocence. But their
yeah.
hair was all over the fucking map. They were wearing Nena's jumpers and should were only 16. But like, if it was young ones nowadays, Jesus Christ Almighty, sure there'd be a different breed altogether. Like they'd have eyelashes
Oh, yeah.
done and fucking hair done, and you know,
And that's just the lads.
it's just it's fucking true. Do you know what I do? You're right to fucking not to be looking in mirrors because there's not, you know, when you meet I met an old lad the other day, and since I've ever known him, he has actually, he was admiring my mustache, would you believe it? Because he's had a mustache like this since
Yeah.
he's a farmer. But he has these tufts growing up here on the tops of his cheeks. It's like this is the Gaza Strip is under his cheekbone. And he will not cross that border. And the last maybe quarter inch, whereas my beard now goes right up under my eye. And Jesus Christ, I fucking shave it, but he won't. So he has these two little tufts. You could only call them tusks. And
yeah,
but I don't think that man even shaves in a mirror. I think he just
I'm sure probably keeps the breeze out of his eyes anyway.
It's like an inverted eyebrow. He's got an eyebrow underneath his eye.
Why do you do the full loop?
It's a set of glasses, set of spectacles. Well, what I'm saying is that man, he didn't go to me, oh Jesus, I forgot to shave. You know, it's definitely not a style thing. It's not a style thing. Like I think he's shaving the same way he shaved when he was 12 or 13 when he started shaving, and didn't bother his arse probably looking in the mirror since. Just gives it a whip around, then Lou the finest. Just, you know, sorry, you know the fella now, unmarried. Like there's no woman to pull him on it. Like, you know, so and that man's not looking in no mirrors. There's no mirror in the house. Do you know?
No.
Happy out.
He's out the door. Oh yeah. Well, happy out. Yeah, hopefully he's happy, this fella anyways.
I know you'd know by him. He'd fucking rake him money.
You would.
Yeah, he'd fucking rake him money.
Some of those lads, they've been packing away money since before Bertie was wearing jocks.
You know by him, like the Land Cruiser is absolutely paid off for him. When he wants, he'll go and buy a brand fucking new one again. Like, you know, just
yeah. And do you know what? They were the cutest fuckers you could ever go to school with or ever be in class with, and saving money since secondary school, since middle of secondary school. These boys out working. They're just like ahead of the game in a lot of ways, you know. Sometimes with the kind of stuff that we do, like sometimes I'm like, Jesus, maybe I should have just stuck to the regular construction work, because at the very least you can build something and you know that's your career, and now it's booming as well. Like whether it's what we're doing, it's up and down at times too.
Do you know, I ran into a lad the other day that I went to school with, and he've about 5 or 6 diggers on the go, rake of tractors, and I suppose he's a ton out of gear, rake of work, driving a right looking fucking yoke now, top of the range Audi. And you remember I told you I looked in the mirror and thought I looked 76 and smoked 76 fags? That's actually what he looked like. That's actually what he looked like. He's sitting there.
He was fucking burned out, was he?
Burnt out. He'd lived 3 lifetimes of stress because yokes were breaking, and the next thing a fella wouldn't show up to work, and all these things sound great. Like, and he was, well, he's just, you're fucking dead right to be off doing what you're doing. Jesus, what tool do you need to bring on stage? It's fucking right enough as, it's just hydraulic hoses bursting, cunts fucking pulling down fucking piers, driving into old ones. Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's it, you see. Yeah, you don't see it, you don't think about it when you see it, but then, you know, when you were on the sites many a day, you'd be like, Jesus, I can't wait to get off these sites.
Oh, stop. You'd be
perishing crying cold. Morning tea.
Perishing cold, blowing up your fucking skirt on a December morning, pissing down rain, raging all the time. There's no happy point. You're raging. You know what I mean? No, even when you do get paid, you're like,
glimpse of happiness on a Friday, and that's about it for about till the Saturday when you wake up.
Yeah.
Shook again from the drink or whatever. Yeah.
But we were discussing beforehand. You're going to put I can't wait to see. I want you to. Do you know what a good episode I must send you on? Myself and Jerry McBride did an episode last year on how to build a house from site from greenfield site to turning the key. It's a 2-hour
Right. Was it like
podcast.
a serious thing or like?
It is. People have actually messaged me going, I followed that to the fucking letter of the law. Because I
Jeez.
built enough of the fucking things, like, but I skipped on, like, I didn't go what you need to do. I gave the genuine A to Z, like, you know, what to fucking be looking for. Like, I didn't go into what type of windows you should be putting in. That's your own fucking business, like, do you know? But I gave you the stages of what to do, like, and what to be looking out for and stuff that people wouldn't copy. I must send it on to you. It's still myself and McBride acting the maggot, like, you know what I mean? But like, if I could ever give anybody the number one piece of advice, and one fella actually reiterated it, I met him in Galway one night. He said, the best advice I ever got was from you. He said, you told me on that podcast to buy a bad old van if I was going building. An old fucking yoke that could just about hold it together. And he went away and bought himself an old Berlingo, right? He says,
oh yes, a Berlingo Kango or something like that. No,
yeah, he fucking they drew the fucking world home in the fucking thing, like, and everything was half the fucking price then, like, because he was able to shop around, like, and
yes,
you
get
know,
around the place.
Oh, there's a lot to be said for a van.
That's my next purchase.
Are you getting a van?
I'm thinking about getting Renault I'm gonna get a van. You know, I seen a lovely green post van there the other day. Renault Kangoo, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever see them ones?
Yeah. Same as the Berlingo and all the rest.
Kangoo, and I seen exactly. Yeah. There was an old granny driving one, and it looked immaculate. I just thought to myself, "Jeez, I wonder what she's swapping." I nearly went up to her and said, "Would you mind swapping? I'll get more use out of it." But I would think I'm thinking about getting a van, something you could throw a mattress into in the back as well, so that, like, if you're up and down the country, you wouldn't have to be paying, you know, stupid money for shit hotels and stuff.
I still have the old Jeep, and she's commercial version. Now, I don't mind driving late at night, but I tell you one thing: the luxury of having an old sleeping bag, and I had a yoga mat. I didn't bother with fucking mattress, or I had a fucking yoga mat, fucked it behind the seat, and you just pull over there with the truckers. And
so you stay in there after a gig, would you?
Many's a time a good few times I've attempted to, you know, you'd attempt to drive home from fucking Derry or some fucking place, and the next thing you'd get as far as maybe Monaghan and go, this ain't happening. I need a couple hours skip and jump into the fucking back by, and it was glorious. I will have a van forevermore. Like, there will always be a van in the family. Like, it's just has to happen. Like,
no, this is good. Like, I'd love to get a camper van, but they kind of went a bit crazy in prices recently too. So I'm still kind of holding off on them yokes.
I wouldn't, like, could you, like, I don't know if you could justify it unless you're living in America or something. Like, the fucking thing will sit for half the year sitting there growing fucking grass out the front. At least with the van, if you had to go in and do a job, you could fuck something in the back of it too, like, you know, or whatever. Like, but
it doubles up, I suppose.
It doubles up. Fucking van. They're so class. They're so fucking class.
I'll have to get some. I'm sure you know a few fellas that'll be selling good vans anyway. So I've been looking on Dundee and different places like that, but nothing's really coming up.
Yeah, people don't get rid of them. That's the thing. Like, they just don't get rid of them. Once you fucking find a good van, you hang on to it. I was talking with a guy yesterday, electrician, 400,000 he had up on the van, and he said, just keep it minded. His Toyota fucking. She was a light ace Toyota.
Let's see what's on mine here now. 217,000 in this car, Opel Astra.
Oh, I'm in the Insignia, and I'd say I've about closer to 300,000. I'd say at this stage, I'd say it's just.
It's gone around the world a few times.
She fucking has, but fucking keep island to her, and she'd be fucking grand. Keep fucking island to her.
Yeah. For some reason, I was under the impression that 200,000 was kind of like the limit for cars, and then you had to kind of more or less get rid of it. But I'm going to keep going with this one. I've a good mechanic in town there. He's an old school kind of fella, and he's
not like that bastard.
Hands-on.
Not like that bastard you had before when you were living up in Dublin. Do you remember the Corolla that time?
Yeah, that fucker. That dirty bastard that gave me a dodgy Corolla. But we've moved on from that one anyways now. And I'm an Opel man now, so I'm going to stick to those.
They've never let me down. Always good fucking yokes on fuel. Hey, what was the deal with Biden anyway? If ever do you know what? I was laughing. I said, the fuckers from Mayo, if ever his family be from Mayo, a county that could give less of a fuck about pomp and ceremony. it's Mayo. There's
I know.
you'll get no joy out of them fuckers, like, when it comes to being yeah.
What?
You get, like, not that you're miserable, but what I'm saying is you'll get no traction whatsoever. Like, you might in Dublin or Wicklow or whatever, but you will get no traction out of Westerners when it comes to showing up with fucking pomp and regalia. Like, it's just a
Oh,
case
no,
of
no.
fuck
If
you.
it's there, if someone hands you a flag, you'd be like, oh yeah, you'll do it for a laugh. Like, but I was there on the day he came to Ballina. Sure, almost everybody was like, Aryash, we're just here for the pints.
Of course.
Or they were here, not just pints, but they were there for the food. Like, it was a great atmosphere, great crack, like, and everyone was out to enjoy themselves. And I'm sure some of Biden's family were probably like, oh, I can't wait to see him. But I think the majority of people were there just for the fucking crack. Nobody really, it could have been anyone at all. Like, it could have been Michael Flatley, like, and it would have been the same crowd.
Just when he shouted, and one more thing,
One
Mayor
more
for
thing.
Sam. Like, shut up, will you? For fuck's sake.
I'd say I reckon he had 2 auto cues he was looking at the whole time.
Yeah, it looked a bit robotic, all right, the way he was talking.
The eyes were kind of scanning. He was like, oh yeah, one more thing. And he kind of turns. And you could just see him looking down. He was trying to figure out what it meant, Mayo for Sam. But he said, I think it just clicked into his brain. But 80 years of age, man. Some shape.
Yeah, he's in some... but sure, look at... How many 80-year-olds do you find are big heaps of shite too? Like, if you're 80, an 80-year-old is still ripping around the place. Like, do you know...
Oh, yeah. But, like, fair play to him. Like, he was moving around the place. He flew into Knock. And then I think he took a speedboat then to Westport.
He did not.
No, did he? Fuck no. But you can imagine him in a speedboat.
Couple of
like
pints.
Hulk Hogan back in the 90s.
I only thought of that the other day. What's this called? No, it wasn't Tropic Thunder. Thunder in Paradise, was it?
Thunder in Paradise, something like that, yeah.
Oh my
Thunder in Paradise.
It was so, yeah. Jesus. Oh, I just wanted to get your take on it because it seemed to not have any impact whatsoever. It was like, oh yeah, Grant.
Like, I tell you one thing, Ballina looked really well. Like, they had the whole town painted up and everyone was in great form, and it was a great day out. Like, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I didn't give a shite personally. Like, and I don't know if a lot of people did really, but it's like, it's hard to take a fella like that seriously when there's so much crazy shit America does. Like,
No, yeah.
Even though he did say Mayor for Sam, it's like, yeah, fuck, never mind all that bad shit you're doing.
Yeah.
As long as Mayo win the football.
Yeah. Jesus, if ever there was a shower of fuckers good at just buttering over a situation with coming out with a slogan or something, you're like, don't look at what we're doing in Africa or what we're doing anywhere else around the world. Just
exactly.
Mayo for Sam.
They're so good, Tom. They're so good at it that even when I was down there, I was getting carried away. I was like, do you know what? Actually, Joe Biden, he's doing well. Like, I was thinking, I was kind of getting on board the Biden train for a while. They're fucking going around talking highly of him.
I won't have it said. He's
not
a
a
good
bad
man.
word about my great cousin. But no, but it's great. It's great for Ballina though. 10 out of 10.
No, nothing about the coronation. No, in Ballina this weekend. No.
It couldn't be. Well, people were kind of giving out about it. My father was giving out about it. He goes, fuck's sake, I don't even know why they're showing that shit. And then I go over to the house. I'm like, are you not watching it there? No.
Yeah.
Not on the television.
Yeah.
No, just to be given, he'd be kind of like he'd be giving out about it, but still, if you're watching it, they have you.
You see, I think the idea of royalty and stuff like that for the likes of our parents, because they're not a million miles gone from being, underneath the cape of the United Kingdom. Like, they wouldn't, it's only a generation since them. Like, so I wonder, is it kind of like for us watching, say, Gladiators? Do you know what I mean? You go, the fucking heck.
TV show from the 90s.
Like, if you watched it now, you go, oh, the fucking heck it is. Like, but still, you'd give it an old watch. Do you know that kind of way? Is it like Gladiators for them? Like, kind of going, yeah, fuck them. Turn it on there.
You mean Gladiators like Wolverine and
yeah. Like, have you seen it? Watch a clip of it. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, your Gladiators ready. That fella.
Yeah. But do you
know,
like
that for the
for our parents, like, is it like, Era, fuck them? Well, sure, watch it anyway. Sure, throw it on there and we'll have a look at it. Do you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I suppose. Yeah, you have it on the
Is there still a
background kind of
hook?
thing.
Is there a hook still in him some which way? Like, I wonder.
Could be,
Oh,
yeah. There could be something like that, all right, you know. And sure, if it's on every channel and everyone's talking about it, sure, you kind of want to half know what's going on yourself.
well, the old
But
lad was bullying anyway. He was bullying all roads yesterday because they put that shit on television and you had to pay for the hurling. So he was like, for the love of fucking Jesus. Like, just,
but
yeah, you had
you
to
had to
pay
pay for the hurling.
12 quid to watch the hurling now.
How do you mean? On which channel?
It's all a load of the hurling channels on, what do they call it? TG Car or fucking Gold or something. You have to pay. It's pay per view now for for a lot of the hurling matches.
Jeez, the GA are cute fuckers. They're
Aren't
they're
they?
they're pumped. There's one pipe going into the GA, and there's not many pipes going out.
No.
It's
I
piping in
mean,
money.
the whole thing being we celebrate ourselves because we're an amateur organization. You're like, really? But
Yeah,
Etihad Airways and fucking Guinness are your main spot. Okay, right. Okay, yeah.
yeah. The top lads in the GA, they're definitely not amateur.
They fucking earned their
They're,
whole.
they're
Jesus
probably out in
Christ.
Dubai as we speak, just fucking. I don't know what they're doing out there, but geez, I didn't know that they charge for that. That's a bit. That's kind of bad form, isn't it?
They're testing the water on the hurling, because they do get slightly bigger numbers on the hurling apparently, and they want to see. But the football will go the same way. The football will go
Oh
the
yeah,
same way, like, because that's their.
everything is monetized now. So that's the nature of the internet. It's like all the good shit is nearly monetized.
Mm.
All the stuff you want to, you kind of they hooked you in with the likes of Facebook and that, and now most content, even on Instagram, I just see stuff popping up where it's like, if you want to subscribe to my page or whatever. But maybe that's just the nature of it. Maybe that's something you have to do.
Yeah, it's fucking fellas like us who are trying to move further off grid. I think it's
Yeah,
jarring. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking
it
jarring, and
is.
it's
It
just
is,
like,
Tom. You know what? It is, Jeremy, because it kind of goes against any hooks you kind of have. You know, you're kind of if you're trying to go off grid, but yet you're still relying on Instagram or anything like that. It's a bit tricky, like because
yeah. But
one of them is kind of giving away too much nearly.
but in fairness, you've been quiet on socials of late, from what I see.
I have really, it's just I don't want to be putting up stuff for the sake of it, and the last few years, like I was putting up so much stuff from it would say maybe since I was 23, I've been with the Hardy books, and then since about 33, we'll say till 38 or 37, you could say, flat out posting all the time, and I just kind of got fed up with it. So I'm just trying to maybe create some new content and like kind of come up with new ideas, but I'm also just trying to live my life here in Mayo and like kind of get into the farm in a small bit and all that kind of stuff.
I
So
love
it's a
it.
mixture of a lot of different things, but I still have one foot in the comedy world or the social media world. Like I'm still doing stuff, but I just don't care about it as much as I used to. As in, I don't care about. It's not my main goal. Like every day, we'll say my main thing would be maybe how to live off the grid, build a shed, or maybe grow some wild mushrooms that I could sell
I love it. Yeah,
to the Japanese.
that's exactly where I was hoping you were going. Like, you know what I mean? That you didn't just wander off into the abyss, like, and take up some fucking IT job or something, but you're actually going fucking further into the wilderness,
Into
like
the
me.
hole.
We're
Yeah,
going
but
for,
at the same time, Tom, in saying that though, I do like the media, social media stuff. So I was thinking about doing some vlogs or something like that, maybe on the farm.
I think that, you see, that's where I was kind of going. I think that because I know Michael Rice did a little bit, but because he's not back on the farm, Michael Rice is in England now, like, so
Mm,
he's kind. I won't say he's cast aside the dairy farm or whatever, but nobody would know it at this stage. So he's in any way involved in farming, like. But I think there's a huge market for it.
oh yeah,
Not
definitely.
market. I hate to even sound content or whatever,
I
but
know that's it. You see, yeah.
the second it came
You're,
out of my mouth, I was like, why am I saying that to Owen? What we need to do, Owen, is sit down and monetize your farm. Fuck's sake.
yeah,
But fierce interest, I think, for the crack. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Actually, I mean, you dovetail nicely into a bit of fucking roar, like that. It's not
it's
like
not. I mean,
Marcus Alera isn't going farming. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
it's you. Like,
That's it. You see, but as you were saying there, you don't want to give too much away either because, like, as you're saying, you don't want to monetize your home life as well,
yeah, that gets
or do you?
creepy. I don't know. It
Yeah.
gets a bit fucking creepy. Like, I mean, that has been a thing that's been bandied back and forth a few times, like, because people hopefully will be building fairly soon here. Like, but I banded it back and forth about walking people through the process, like maybe creating a page or content
Oh yeah.
for it. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like it's actually my house. Like,
That's
are
it. You
we get?
see.
Are you getting creepy then?
But
Like,
like that's what they're doing now. That's yeah. But that, like in America and
oh,
different places, they give everything away. Like the whole shebang. The family's in it. The fucking house is in it, and it's just that's just the way some people do it. It's a tricky one to kind of get right because I think we're more private people in Ireland, would say, compared to well, I don't know if we are like, but I suppose some people who want to make it on social media, that they're willing to kind of nearly give any privacy away.
yeah, but it's never actual privacy. I don't think, because you're creating another character. It's not you who
I
fucking
suppose, yeah,
walks through the kitchen and kicks a fucking an Aldi bag out of the way, going, "For the love of fuck, who's left that joke around the place?"
yeah, yeah. You could you
That
could do you could do funny vlogs on how to like would say how to do whatever, like how to hang a door or something like that.
yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, on
Yeah,
how to put up a fucking plaster slab, like, and hit me up if you actually want to know how to do it. But the this is the fast fucking way. Because
yeah,
sure as shit, I've bust enough fingers down through the years doing it the wrong way and doing it the hard way. I've found mostly
yeah,
the fucking handy way of doing the fucking thing, like, and getting the fucking yoke driven on, and they'll be fucking
yeah.
looking at it, like, because as we were talking beforehand, like, Jesus Christ, lads be talking about freezing points and all that fucking stuff that you were looking at there, like, and you didn't be worried
Yeah,
about that. You'd be worried about that stuff at all, at all. Do you know what I mean?
there's a bit,
Water,
there's a bit of skip.
water. That's the number one thing in Ireland.
Stay hydrated. Stay
Yeah.
hydrated when you're building.
Stay hydrated. And also keep fucking hydration out of your building. That's the number one. That's the only thing to be worried about in Ireland. Fucking to
Yeah.
be worried about cold. To be fucking people are fucking mad putting these underfloor fucking heatings into yokes and
What do you
herself
make of
was
the underfloor heating?
fucking fierce expensive. For what? Like, for what? What do we
Yeah,
need all this heat for? Who had
yeah,
the house that roasting growing up? Like, you didn't. So we all wanted. I was over the house recently, and beautiful fucking cool architectural fucking project now is what this house was. Their architect went kind of crazy and he angles in all directions, but fuck me, I'm fucking melting inside here. And this was February. That's fucking melting. What fucking he says we have the fucking underfloor is ticking away nicely at 23, 24 degrees there. It's just, that's not Irish
especially
people temper. That's at
yeah,
best
yeah.
a house 15 or 16 degrees. And if I want to get hotter, I'll get closer to the fire. Do you know what I mean? Or put on
Oh
a
yeah,
fucking jumper.
yeah.
I can't.
Should, yeah, the way we are here, like there's a breeze coming in the door, so we just have to throw on a few jumpers, or we'll like start doing a few press ups or something like that to get the heat going. But it saves you in the long run anyway. But the underground heating would be a lovely touch, but I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's kind of you're nearly better to get the heat yourself somehow. Like we'd say go out and do a bit of chopping or something.
100, no, like it's not natural at all. Like to have the house. No, I mean they've been doing it for since Roman times, but not in Ireland. They haven't fucking been doing it. But like,
Mm.
I think the smart construction industry has us kind of coded into thinking, oh Jesus, you need this, and you need like I was going to buy a fireplace off a fella the other day, and I was like, as I went up to look at the thing, I didn't
A
fucking
stove
like
is
it.
at our range.
No, it was actually a fire surround. It was a granite fire
Mm.
surround. It was a noble looking thing, but then it was more fucking hassle than it was worth. But that's why, and it's the same fella's a block clear. Why the fuck have you this pulled out? I live. It's just a fucking noble yoke. Oh, this is I blocked up the whole thing. We're doing fucking air recovery units. I want the house fucking A-rated. He says the fucking telling you now, it's the whole lot goes bang. He says I don't want fucking big fucking bills. I want to be able to heat this thing fucking. That's what you mean. I said, but sure, you must be after spending 15 or 16 fucking thousand on. He says, oh, just as and then some. He says, just fucking maybe closer to 22, 23. I says, fuck me, lad. You buy a lot of fucking blocks and coal for that. You
Yeah,
could see
yeah,
him.
you would of
You could
course.
see him looking at me like I had just shit into his fucking cereal. Ah, because he'd been drinking the Kool-Aid. Listen to all these fellas on sites that you, Jesus, no fucking fires, no nothing. You're like,
Yeah,
ah. If the power goes, if the power's down for 2 or 3 days, some cunt with a fucking JCB blows a pylon out of it. What the fuck are you going to heat yourself with then? You know,
that's it.
like,
You see, you know, we kind of get used to the comforts, and then when we kind of push it, you get too comfortable nearly. You know, there's nothing wrong with a bit of cold.
there's
Keeps you moving.
I'm 100%, but like, I'm probably hyperactive anyway. In that I can't.
Yeah.
I'm in, I'm out, I'm fucking up, I'm down anyway. So I cannot see myself lounging for continuous amounts of time, like, and you know, and I need the floor fucking warm as well, and everything else fucking warm.
No, I'm the same, Tom. I can't sit still. Like, I just probably the only time I could sit still would be maybe an hour before I sleep. I probably could sit down and be like,
yes,
right. And I even, you know, I kind of have to be always moving. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because it keeps me warm, but it's a bad thing because even if I'm having a conversation with someone, I'll have to stand up and do some stretches, or I'll have to do some shadow boxing or something.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it. I've seen it. Actually, I like it. I like it.
Maybe I've got maggots.
You got worms, have you? Just get that young fella a fucking dose, a Vivamac or something. What is the farming? Is it dry stock, or what are you farming? Or what are you hoping to get into?
Well, you see, the thing is, I'm living close to my father here, so he has a farm.
Yes.
Now I wouldn't calling myself a farmer is a stretch. Like the most farming I've done the last year is it's been Farming Simulator on the PC. So
does he even know that you're planning on joining him in farming, or is it?
No, like he was like, you wouldn't be into it anyways. You wouldn't be into it.
That's such an Irish outlads thing to say. Like, that's such an outlet. Oh my god! But it's passive aggressive, but it's actually so
sassy.
It's so layered. Actually, that it's not even as area you wouldn't be into it, but deep down, I wish you were into it. Do you know?
Yes. Exactly.
And then also, Jason, I wouldn't want to put you out, like, if you're not into it, because you know you're doing well in the other. Oh, but
that's it. You see,
do you know, like, there's so many layers to that fucking one. I've gotten that off the outlet as well. Like, there's so many layers. You're like, what does he mean? What does he mean, the fucker?
That's when you look him down the barrel and you say, "I'm gonna be a YouTuber, Dad," and you just look in their eyes and they're like, "I wish I never had you."
And he walks out into the middle of the 20-acre field out the back and just screams at the sky. Yeah.
Fuck you, Trump. No reason. But not even Trump. I meant to say Zuckerberg. But no, I'm only dipping my toes into it, Tom, really. Like I just like I like to kind of like play with stuff in the garden, like we'll say dock leaves, and like what I can use the dock leaves for. I made some dock leaf soup the other day.
Tell me, you did not.
I swear to God, I found it. I said, they're all in the garden. I said, they must be there for something. Yeah, you must be able to use them for something apart from wiping a sting away or wiping your arse and get caught short, you know. So
we've all been there. We've all been there.
We've all been stuck, and nothing wrong with it. That's what I stocked up on during lockdown. It was the dock leaves. Never mind the toilet roll.
Jesus, Owen's garden looks amazing. That thing was covered in fucking dock leaves last fucking time I looked at it. Yeah. Just fair play to him. He's out there pulling the weeds.
So good. Yeah. How was your garden looking so well?
Green arse when you walk around.
A bee sting wouldn't get near it. But just all you do is you just get them, you bring them inside and you kind of put some hot water over it and you kind of let them just kind of simmer away there. Wilt away, exactly, yeah.
I've had metal soup, all right, and it's supposed to be it's supposed to put nearly a second Mickey on you. It's supposed to be unreal iron in it, like.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for the blood, I think, as well. The metal stuff.
Well, here
I think there's 2 times the year.
Yes, you're right. There is. Yes, you're right. My mother is very good at that kind of stuff. She've all them old recipes in her head, and you know them old sayings that'll 1 for the song and 2 for the cat. You know, and you're kind of going, what now? Yeah. Well, the cat is this, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you're speaking in fucking hieroglyphs, woman. Just write it down. Write it down.
2 in the ditch is better than 1 in the pocket. Or there's so many, so many random ones that make 0 sense. But actually, my grandmother, who used to live in this house here, Tom, I'll just tell you this.
Yeah.
She used to, when we were like knocking around the house, she used to have the saying going, "Ara mara the foshka," and she was like a wise woman, like, so she always had different sayings. Like, but we found out that meant "Ara may death come upon you," to her own grandchildren, like. So
And you're like,
we thought it was
Nana.
something sweet. Thanks, you fucker.
Yeah, not a fosh, get yourself, Nana. What a weapon.
I know. But so that's the kind of farming I mean there really, Tom. But I wouldn't mind getting a goat and a few different things. But I've been warned off a goat because apparently it eats everything. But that's, instead of a lawnmower, we'll say get a goat.
I'm not going to tell you to put a collar on him, but that's how you'd stop a fucking goat eating what you don't want to put a fucking collar on him, like, you know.
Exactly.
But,
or feed him with the hand, and then he'll soon. I mean, like if you had him as a bit of a friend, we'll say feed him with the hand, take him down the road to eat all the grass beside the road and everything.
Well, you see,
laughing.
Like they're mischievous old fuckers, all right, like, but like,
yeah,
I mean, you could get a handy size goat too, a fella that can't get up to the washing line, but some of them go as big as a fucking donkey. Some like of the fuckers, like
an old dwarf goat or something.
Yeah, start one of the small pygmy fellas, like, and fucking
yeah.
Now there's a fucking vlog for you. Just start your own yoga.
Buying a 2 foot dwarf or fucking 2 foot goat.
I found. Do you ever see them yokes horsetails that grow? The fucking things would bust up through concrete and everything. Them old weeds. They look like a mini Christmas tree. They grow maybe about 4 inches high.
They're good for tightening the soil, are they?
I tell you what, they're good for tightening fucking everything in you. They're horsetail. Oh my fucking Jesus! They'll write what wrong is in you. They're unbelievable fucking yokes.
Straight through you.
Well, I was saying to she was a horticulturist in a local garden. I said, what the fuck are them yolks even called? Are they actually horse? Oh, they are horsetails. I said, you can't get rid of the fucking things. She goes, that's because their roots are about 7 foot fucking long under them. I was like, oh, well, that'll be the.
I know the ones. Yeah, I think I know the ones. We have them there in the greenhouse, and they kind of ruin the soil a bit. They make it all tight.
They would do. They would. Yeah. They would do. But they're fucking. But in medical terms, they're fucking unbelievable for writing you every fucking which way. They're unfucking real yolks for it.
They just clean out the pipes.
Not just clean out the pipes, but they're fucking good for the heart, the fucking bloodstream, every fucking thing. Like,
yeah.
So maybe
it's all grown in the garden. Like, it's all grown wild in Ireland. I don't know much about it. So it's
Furze bush. Do you know the old yellow fucking yolks? The spiky old fucking ones, and the yellow things that grow. They're supposed to be unreal. You can make a tea out of them. Apparently, it gives you fucking superpowers nearly as well. Like, but do you know? Of course, we'd have to buy them all from fucking Joe Rogan first, like before we'd.
Exactly, before we trust them. I haven't heard from Joe in a long time. I haven't seen much of his podcasts.
I dipped in and out of one or two, and they start sounding fucking similar all of a sudden. Like, you're kind of going, oh jeez, we're into the yoga here now, and the fucking jiu-jitsu. Fucking 5 minutes in, and look.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You kind of go in cycles, and you end up kind of hearing the same stuff over and over again. You have to move on.
Well, he two fellas on that I was after watching the show, and it was about, I'd say we probably talked about it as Ancient Apocalypse was the show on Netflix with Graham Hancock.
Yeah, another one.
And he had him on, and jeez, I listened to that one now, in fairness, like, and it was just more so how they were trying to discredit your man, but he was like, I'm not telling you that there was fucking giants walking around, but he says there's no fucking way in hell that with this huge fucking cataclysm, and then we were fucking hunter-gatherers up until about 6,000 years ago, and then lo and behold, we were able to build these fucking massive yokes, like, because the next massive yoke we were able to build after that was the Eiffel Tower, and that was about 1,800 years later. By all, you know, like more fucking 3,000 years.
They unless they had techniques that they must have learned. Like, how did they know of these techniques to be able to build that? Like, I don't think they built it with physical power. They must have known how to work matter.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like, and he's still not even going down that road. He's kind of like, I'm just saying, we're around a lot longer than the guys are fucking saying. Like, you know.
That's the Richard Hancock fella, the really soft-spoken English lad, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the only thing is, I get people can say a word wrong, and I've gotten better at this. And like, there is actually it's a condition. Chris Kent told me about it because he has a lot of these. The poor fucker, like he can't stand people that eat loud, and it's actually a condition. But I don't mean gets a bit thick. I mean, will run through a fucking wall after hearing somebody eats. But there's, you know, when somebody says a word wrong, like if they're trying to say the word specific and they say
Yeah,
Pacific, you
yeah,
go, oh, Jesus Christ, I can't correct you because we're both adults. If we were
yeah,
16, I
yeah.
could correct you. But he kept on saying the volley of the Kings when during that whole fucking podcast. And I must have turned it off 9 times going, if that cunt says volley, there's no, would you fuck off at yourself now? Fuck off, Graham. It's Valley.
Yeah.
There's a fucking the Valley of the Kings. And he's like the volley of the Kings. And all he was doing was Joe thought that, of course, this was a natural English accent from wherever he was from. Like, and Joe was going, I love the way
Yeah.
you say volley. As nobody in England says volley. They don't
No,
know.
no, not like the way you're saying it there.
You know, I mean, that was the only thing.
My mother says instead of certificate, she goes certificate.
I know I can allow that because that's certificate. Like my, do you know, like the old lad calls, like he doesn't call it cement, he calls it cement. Just
No.
as his, it's like you don't have to get the word finished too quick. Like it's fine, cement.
Yeah.
No, cement. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sure, even I was saying my own name wrong till I was about 32. I was going Owen, but it's Owen. There's a W in there, and I just like, oh fuck, there is. Do you know when you'd be surprised by your own name?
No.
I was going around telling people Owen is my name. Owen. It's like, oh no, wait a minute. I think somebody actually, I think it was a Venezuelan lad. It's like, is your name Owen or Owen? And I was like, oh, geez, good question. And then I was like, oh, must be Owen. And we haven't spoken since.
That's fair specific, isn't it? Like, just
Yeah.
Is it Owen or Owen? Oh, fuck it.
It was like around the time where they were moving into the house, and they were like, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Owen or Owen? I was like, oh, fuck, you've caught me out there.
Jesus, I'll go back and talk to the parents. What way did they?
Yeah, give me an hour. I'll call you back.
And how like life for the woman and everything, she loves Mayo. Because I was
Mayo,
I was concerned bringing my Dublin wife down to. I knew she'd kind of like it, but she's in the long term. What way she'd fucking like rural South Tipperary, but she's embracing it fierce now.
Yeah, my missus loves it too. She likes the nature is nice and all that stuff. The walks, the space is good. But and the funny thing is, she's from Buenos Aires, so she's from like a busy. Yeah, she's from the like inside Buenos Aires, so like I don't know how many people live there, maybe 20 million or 30, and it's not she doesn't seem to be too bothered by the slow pace of life here, because it is very slow in Mayo. Like you'd ask somebody to do a job for you, and they might tell you next week, and it could be 3 or 4 weeks away.
You just take it as a given. Yeah.
That's just the way it goes, because you can't really be forcing them to do things quicker, because that's just the way the pace of life is. So very slow here, but it's very relaxing too. I find sometimes when we go into the city, it takes us a bit of a while to kind of acclimatize to the speed. Like if I go meet some friends in the city now, I'll end up either kind of like a bit anxious, or like, fucking hell, it's very busy, or else I'll have to have a few pints to kind of bring myself to the level that I find people in the city to be at.
That is funny, isn't it? That their vibe is running at a different octave,
different pace,
or maybe it's a different vibration, as they talk about nowadays, like or whatever.
Exactly.
Tesla. It is though. It fucking definitely is, because I am sure as shit a Carmen Manson's moving here. Sure as shit I am. Like,
you sure as shit what?
I'm a Cameron Manson's moving back here. Like, and aggression is accepted around here, which is hilarious.
You're a cameraman, yeah.
Do you know, like, but much calmer. Like, I remember one of the first times driving back up to Dublin, whistling the whole way. I said, this is a lovely drive now. Jeez, I forgot. I'll get myself a little bag of chips after the Laughter Lounge now. This will be great. In along the Long Mile Road. Traffic isn't too bad now. This is fine. Came out to get on the fucking canals. And this fella on a bike just fucking slapped off the car, just cycling, just being a bollocks, like, because he was cutting through a red light. My fucking rev counter in my brain just went from fucking ticking away at 800 revs up to 12,000. Just wah, like fury in under half a second. Something that I hadn't felt in damn near years. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But at least I was mature enough to kind of go, okay, take it back down, Tom. Take it back down. He's nobody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm the same. Sometimes you think you're patient. You're like, oh, geez, I've turned into a really relaxed sort of fella, and it just takes one small thing, like when you go into the city, to fucking ruin your day. Some lad stepping out in front of you. When you're walking on the footpath, and some fella comes out of a shop, and they kind of walk ahead
Yeah.
of you, but they're walking slower than you. You're like, oh, fucking move.
I've already got palpitations now. You saying that to me? I'm like, oh Jesus! I just want to kick him into the fucking knee. Yeah. Or
Yeah, but
the one that I think worldwide should be allowed though is to boot someone up the hole legally if they're walking along a footpath in front of you, a busy footpath, and they just come to a grind and halt to check their phone.
oh yeah, that
Like
should be
a boot in the hole, like man,
yeah.
woman, or child, just boot them straight up
You
the
should be
hole.
allowed to put an elbow into the back of the neck for that. Like just one a day. How do you find the gigs, Tim?
It's got. I was going to ask you the same thing. I'm lucky enough. I've started my own club here in Tip, monthly club, and it's a fucking joy. It's a joy. Like,
Yeah.
I've been gigging away, tipping away, maybe a couple of weeks or whatever, but like nothing like the pace I was doing before. But I'm getting far more out of some of the gigs I'm doing now. Do you know, like for
You
the
have more
one
time to think about it, is it?
that and the quality of a gig. Like I did,
Okay.
like it's all well and good when I was living in Dublin. You do 5 nights inside, and you're done, or maybe you might do 5 or 6 spots throughout the week. I shouldn't. 98% of those people aren't even from Ireland, or will they ever remember your name, or do they engage with you because you're on a lineup of fucking 5 or 6? Like it's, and also like you're in a city. There's nothing special about what you're doing. Because there'll be some cunt blowing fire out of his hole in a fucking venue across the bridge. Like, you know what I mean? There's people like, yeah, sure, we came to this and you should be thankful for that. Whereas, say I was in Ballincollig in Cork the other night. It's the only show in town is what's going on. There's nothing else on, literally nothing else on. And the people, sure, I mean,
they're gagging for like.
They're sitting in your pocket for the entire time I was there. And it's not that my ego, it's great, yeah, but at the same time, you're like, there's a value on everything I'm giving out here. Because literally, you're all taking it in, you're digesting it, and you're going, class, lovely. And then they want to talk afterwards. They're buying tickets to your next show. Like, so you're going, oh, this is worth 10 shows. This is worth 10 fucking shows. Do you know?
Okay,
like,
gotcha, yeah.
So
that's a good way to look at it now. I never thought of that before, yeah, but that's a good way to look at it, because I suppose it's like shopping local in a way, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of keep it in the economy.
I'm not saying that I'm only ever going to gig to my people, like, you know what I mean, or whatever, but
that's what I'm going to do. I will only gig to my people.
Check it.
You are not from here. I will not gig.
Chicken birth certs at the door, like, yeah, fucking Sligo, you can fuck off.
Get up.
Roscoe, not a fucking chance. But what I'm saying is I did a gig out the country, and I talked about this before, and it was just actually it was a road to Damascus moment. This guy, I did this gig in the back of Beyonds here in Tipperary. I'd say I'd only ever been in this village once, twice before myself, because it's going nowhere. The next thing is a huge fuck off mountain, and to drive through that mountain pass is a whore of a drive. Lovely drive, but a whore of a drive. But you don't go that way to get someplace. You go that way if you wanted to have a nice drive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be passing through it. And I was broached, just kind of going, hey, would you put on a show here? We have this venue that's going to be a restaurant eventually, but it's now just a wide open space with painted walls and a blank floor. So it's like, okay, grand. And it sold out really quick and ended up having to do 2 shows.
Oh, nice. That's in Cork, Tom, is it?
No, in Tipperary.
Oh, Tipperary, okay.
But what it was is, I'd say next to nobody there had ever in their life seen stand-up comedy before. A percentage so low that it wasn't worth talking about. But they were on it. They were in your veins, these people. Like,
yeah.
They were in your fucking veins. You wouldn't, 3 hours could have gone by and you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what got away? It was like, what the
fuck?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
They were in, I came away just going.
They were just up for the crack, like.
They were on every fucking syllable you were coming out with. They were hanging on your every word. Even there was it was a bloke I was talking with afterwards. He came up and he was smoking a fag out the side. He said, So I, Jesus Christ! I say, all right, that is, what the fuck is this? I, I had never considered this thing that you just did. I'd never, in the same ways I've never thought about astronauts. He was aligning me with a fucking astronaut. But I think what he was trying to do was find something so obscure that this man had gone
Yeah.
50 years on the planet without, he knew of astronauts, but he never once thought about how an astronaut became an astronaut, nor
Yeah.
he knew of Tommy Tiernan and he knew about, I suppose, Dara O'Brien's and these people, but never, ever, even in his wildest thoughts, had ever thought, wonder how that fella started. I wonder how that happened, and
Yeah.
or I wonder what it's like to be in the room to see that kind of stuff. Never.
Yeah.
But it was
Maybe
just
you
the way.
inspired him to do one down the line, did you? Or?
No, well, the way he was, I don't know what he went away with, but I definitely, his brain had opened up into another chasm inside of his brain. He
Yeah.
kind of wandered away into the darkness. Owen, I don't really know what. I was seeing Batman
Float
or
up to
something.
space.
I don't. It was just an odd moment. He was like, "The fucking Jesus!" He was nearly half annoyed with me in one way, like, but in a funny way, like, going, "You've broken my brain, like you've broken open a door in my
Yeah,
brain."
yeah. Or you've opened a new chamber of his mind.
So what I'm saying is that I'm not putting myself on a par with fucking astronauts, but dick jokes can sometimes make people laugh and laugh really hard in the country. And
Yeah.
I personally took a lot of pleasure from doing these kind of gigs. Do you know, like
Oh, yeah.
there's so much like in what the value.
You get to meet people from, like, the community of the town or whatever. Like, it's a great way to meet people from the town. Like, like, you make friends there for life nearly over the course of, if you do a gig there 2 or 3 times in a row, sure, it's a place you can always go to meet and hang out with people, And
still to this day, I'll get like in the local town, which would be close enough to that village, but you'll get a nod of, well, I was there that night.
Yeah.
Just great night, but when you coming around again, and it was like, I don't know the man from Adam, but I'm like, great, do you know? But it's just a nice, positive.
And how do you find the topics, Tom? This, like, because are you always changing the topics throughout every year, or like since COVID is finished? I find like that I don't want to be talking about anything related to that, really.
Yeah,
because
no,
I suppose people are out of it now. So
yeah,
I'm trying to be conscious of that.
And it happen naturally. Like, I'm just moving with what my life is like at the minute. Like, that kind of way. Where it's like, I don't give a fuck about that shit anymore. Like, so
yeah, of course.
It's I couldn't find myself writing anything interesting on it. Like, but it's
boring. It's boring old stuff now at this point.
The new show that I'm writing probably is on a par with some of the stupid shit that's going on right now, but only from a tongue-in-cheek, silly Tom point of view. Like, I'm not trying to TED talk anybody into,
Yeah.
But I am kind of going, what the fuck now? What the fuck now are we doing here? Like, and you'll find, what I find anyways, 99.9% of people that come to comedy clubs think the same way. Or at least they're happy enough to laugh along with the man that's saying the words like that.
Exactly. Even if you're doing something absurd, like you're talking about something like the Biden situation, and like you're talking about how absurd it is, people don't really care. Like, if they hate Biden or if they love Biden, they don't really care. Like, as long as you're making them laugh.
That's it. And you're average, because I still get I get asked. It was in Ballincollig. I was talking with a barman downstairs before I went up to the club. Because, man, it must be hard with all this cancel culture. And I said, no, because that's about 3 people on the internet. In the scheme of things, it's so small. It's literally fucking nobody, because anybody who's, and I don't give a fuck about internet people. It's people that actually come to a live show. They get all my love. You know what I mean? They're getting there. I don't give a fuck about making up invisible people. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, no, of course. No. Once you forget that shit too, you become liberated, and you can't be letting these kind of like shadowy figures kind of like hold you back.
Well, who are they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's some bloke who can't tie his own fucking shoelaces because his belly is that fucking big now. And he's fighting on behalf of women. You're like, yeah, I bet you're a creepy cunt behind it all. You've done some weird shit. We know. We know not to be mean to people. Actually, if you're raised halfway right, you're not even mean to animals, let alone people. You're just sound. How about just be sound?
Yeah.
That's it. Not that you even have. If you have to say it to somebody, then they're already fucked. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's already like a red flag. Like,
Yeah. If you're shouting at guys, we need to be better. You're like, yeah, you've done something. You've done something, you cunt. Straight away, you're like, yeah. I remember there was a load of people kind of getting cancelled and pulled during lockdown and stuff. And I remember getting a couple of messages of lads going, "Oh, what if they do if they come after you?" I said, what the fuck are they going to come after Tom about? What are they going to come after Tom about? Man, woman, or child, I'll fight him. I'll fight him if they had. I don't care. I'll fight them because they're totally wrong.
At the same time, go for it. Yeah,
they're totally wrong and they're lying. So I'll definitely fight them and I'll justify it.
Oh yeah,
I'll vlog the whole thing. Vlog it, shirt off, middle of the road. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a load of bollocks. I think. Do you work any multimedia into your stuff? I was because I use the projector when I'm doing my stuff, and I've kind of. Sometimes I would have relied too much on the projector, so I'm trying to go back to just straight up stand up. But I'm still using the projector, but I've cut it in half, would say, time wise.
Do you know? I have. There's been I was wondering who that other man was in the room with us.
Yeah, the radio popped on.
But do you know? I've thought about it and I've fucking gone. But geez, I could explain it better with this thing.
But then 4% battery, by the way, left. Just so you know.
But right. in to answer your question, no, I don't. But I have like this new show. There will be kind of a singing piece and whatnot and stuff like that.
Singing piece.
Yeah. This might actually get me cancelled.
Sing you okay?
But it's fucking funny. It's fucking funny. I don't care. It's fucking funny. The lead up to it is fucking funny. The whole premise is funny. And I'm trying to do this.
What are you doing? Like, can you give us a bit of a hint there? Like a pan token? Okay.
No. It's what it is. I'm trying to be sympathetic to what I'm saying and to the scenario that I'm talking about. But it's fucking trigger warning. Like, but what if? But I don't care. It's fucking funny. So I know multimedia it terrifies me that it would break. I did a couple of plays and you're relying on this thing and that thing. And it's actually behind it's in my chest and my brain going, fuck, what if this fucking yoke doesn't fucking work now?
Oh, okay.
My flow state I can't.
Yeah.
So I get fucking stressed. When are we going to get you down to Tip to do some fucking stand up for me? The club.
Very soon, Tom. Let me think now, so we can do a live exclusive on the air. What month are we now? May. Is it the same time every month?
Last Saturday every month.
Well, we can go June if you want.
June. It would be perfect because somebody had pulled out only this morning. And waiting you see who you're going to be on with. Holy fuck!
Right.
Owen Colgan joined in. Yeah, I'll tell you as soon as
I think I think I have an idea. I think I have an idea who you're talking about, but I'm looking forward to it. We keep the suspense.
It's not up on sale yet because if I do, fucking people won't buy tickets to the fucking remaining one. Like the one that's still got a few tickets left. So, with this one, we'll go like hotcakes. Right, Owen Colgan. There we go. Tom. Exclusive is coming down to the fucking Hill Comedy Club in Tipperary. This is fucking very exciting. Right before your battery shits the bed. This has been amazing. I fucking love talking to you. You're an inspirational man, a fucking strong man, and a fucking a healthy man. By the inspirational, really is the key word I wanted to say there and get it across the way.
I could be dead next week, Tom. My mother would say I could be dead next week.
Mayo for Sam.
Mayo for ham.